Well, what a week it has been. Oh, a beautiful morning to kick off this week. Well, welcome back, guys. So yesterday I watered down the center divider posts, the holes around them, just to get all the sediment and gravel and stuff settled down there, just so there's no air gaps, no shifting. He said to mainly focus on the center divider wall because that has received no rainwater since the structure's been up. Today, as far as I know, we are gonna go over where the utilities are gonna go in the shop. So any of the utilities for water, furnace, and all that, I'd love to keep between these two posts. I think that should be plenty of space. Maybe even make that a little closet or utility room with maybe even possibly a bathroom in it in the future or something. That would be my plan, to have steps going up here in the future and make a little loft up there across the back for an office or something up there. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I know we got to do that today. We'll see what else happens. So week 4 of this build, here we go. Moving right along on this Monday morning. So I had to meet with them to go over all the in-floor plumbing, where the utilities are going, and just some electrical things. And they got a couple different crews here now. One person is digging the trench to run the line for the well, so the water line. And then the crew I was talking to for all the plumbing and stuff are taking all the measurements for that. And it kind of just all has to be figured out, just because literally the plumbing is, set in stone. So it's kind of has to all be laid out before anything starts. So then the crew that's been here is finishing sheathing the front of the garage, and things are looking good. Excited to keep moving forward and see what goes on. Then another thing we get to do is kind of start picking out the lighting fixtures and all that. So that will make Chelsea happy. Well, that was a busy Monday. So we got quite the trench dug here from our well, which our well guy never put a pitless adapter on there, so we got to add one. But they got that dug up to the barn door bright and early this morning. Like I said, I met with their plumbing and electric guy to kind of go over exactly where the plumbing and everything is gonna go. Just kind of the utilities. So back in this back corner is where I decided on utilities. So it's kind of in this order here. Boiler, This is the radiant floor heat manifold. Water treatment, which will be a water sanitizer and softener. Slop sink for what I need out here. And then that's what he was doing with the mini excavator outside, is digging where the main drain is gonna go out. So septic tank will be out there. So that'll be where the drain comes out, and I'm assuming the septic tank will be right about there. Leach lines are gonna go down in there. Looking good here. And the original crew that has been in here started doing the siding on this, trimmed out the garage doors in black, and they also started insulating up above the header. But there we go. That's going to about do it for the Monday, and we'll see you in the morning. All right, they pretty much got all the plumbing set where it's going under the concrete floor. So getting ready to plug in the well. We got the hose running up there to do a head test on it, because the town is coming to inspect it at noon, and it is about 10:30, so just to make sure there's no leaks before they come. Alrighty guys, we just filled it all with water from the hose. They got this trench finished digging in. They got that big stub up right there that we filled with water, so all the drain lines are full of water. So it's just kind of a head test for the drain lines, and then code is coming in about 10 minutes to come take a look at it, inspect it, make sure everything's good. The dump trucks came, dumped 2 loads of gravel right here, and that'll be the finished grading in here to cover all that. And then the radiant floor heat plumbing will go on top of that. So looking good in here. Alrighty, well, he just let me know that they are going to run electric up to the house today. So the people are coming to bring the wire, and if you remember last year, I dug right here with a mini excavator to run the electric to this. We can run this up to the house. So he said I don't even have to move this. I offered to move it. He said don't worry about it. They are gonna come straight out this way behind it and hook around here and follow the driveway up. He said he likes doing that to follow the driveway. That way in the future, I always know where the line is. So that's pretty smart. And about from my trailer down, it's pretty rocky in here, so should be interesting with that trencher. So he's up here on that little stand-on skid steer that has the trencher attachment on it. And he's probably, that's probably where the electric's gonna come in right there.
So he's trenching right now?
He's trenching right now, man. See how that auger moves all the dirt away? That's pretty cool, huh? So he was able to use that to trench most of the way down, following along the driveway, and then the other guy over here on the mini excavator started to backfill where they dug in the water line, seeing as how they already ran that. And he left a little bit open next to the well because the guy that drilled our well had to come back and put in a pitless adapter. And then, like I said, down by my trailer here, this is where it really turns really rocky right here. So the trencher was having a rough time, so at that point they had to switch back over to the mini excavator to finish this trench. That is some rocky stuff, man. That's some rocky stuff. Some big cable. 250 KCM. Alrighty guys, busy day today. We've got the trench dug for electric and the line is ran, just needs to be tied into there. But they started backfilling that a little bit. They added a lot of sand in here. I don't know, I would assume for drainage. So that came out from behind the camper and then follows the driveway all the way up. So didn't even have to move the camper, which was really nice. He said he likes to run it up the side of the driveway just so I always know where it's gonna be for future reference. So another thing is we got the water line ran. Water line and the wire, we were able to use the same exact wire I've been using to plug in down there and fill the camper. So the only thing that isn't done is the guy that drilled the well is coming back Friday to put the adapter in, the pitless adapter, so that this water line can tie in to the pipe. So that will be Friday morning, and then he said once that's in, he'll be able to tie it in up here and we'll be back good with water. So shouldn't be a problem. But they backfilled the rest of that, just left a little bit open there so he can come put that adapter in. 3 loads of gravel delivered. That's for the final grading in here. That's gonna go over the plumbing and all that, and before the concrete. That conduit is for the kitchen island, so that'll be nice. We'll have electric in the kitchen island. So looking good. But that'll wrap it up for a Tuesday of week 4, and we will be back in the morning. The framers are back today and they are insulating up above the headers. They finished doing that, and now they just took metal siding into the shop, and I believe they are doing the metal siding on the ceiling up there, because we are getting white metal siding in the shop area. And then I myself, I'm gonna do the walls myself after it's all done and they're out of there. So at this point, this was Wednesday, and Wednesday was a quieter day. The plumbers didn't come back because they were still waiting on code to come and inspect the plumbing and finish that. But the framers were able to get the garage shop ceiling in, which was really nice to see the actual height of that and see how that's gonna look. Like I said, I'm doing white metal siding on that, and then I myself am gonna finish the walls. Well, good morning guys. It is Thursday morning, and just a quick update before the builders get here. They started putting up the metal ceiling in here, and that is because we're waiting on the plumbing to get approved from code to start moving this stone in for final grade before concrete and prepping for the in-floor heat. So they transitioned to putting this in, finishing the insulation over on the side above the headers. And then yesterday, you can see we got some blue tape on the studs, the walls. I've got them all over. Now, I did that to show the electrician where I want outlets and what voltage and stuff. I figured that was the best way to do it to make it visible for him. So as you can see, we got 2 over here, 2 there. There's 2 in a couple places, and that's because I want a 120 volt there as well as a 240. And then there's a couple up there behind that thing and a couple more right there. That's because over the utility room I am going to eventually have a loft, and I want outlets up there. So just trying to think of everything now while it's easy to do rather than later. So builder should be here soon, and we'll keep moving on this. All right, well, this guy's here unloading the stuff for the radiant floor heat. So foam board, PEX, all the stuff for that. There's a bigger cost to do that option, but anyone I've talked to who has that does not regret doing it. I have only heard good things about that radiant floor heat. So as efficient as it is, and from the things I've heard that people have had it, we would have almost been stupid not to do it. So I'm really glad we went that route. I realize it's an expensive option, but some things are just worth the expense. So that's one of our bigger splurges right there. Especially with the upstate New York winters that we get here, it's gets pretty brutal. Okay, well the framing crew just finished up the shop ceiling. That's looking nice. Bartlett, who drilled our well, is back. They're putting in the pitless adapter. So that's just an update for now, and hopefully we'll just keep moving forward. I'm gonna stay right over here. Just stay out of the way. There we go, man. Prepping for concrete. Yeah, probably. There, come on. You what? Alrighty, well they're starting to do finished grading up there. They're starting to move in some stone. It's Friday, July 17th tomorrow, and a week from then, next Friday, they're gonna do concrete floor in the barn though. So they're getting it prepped and ready, probably to start doing the radiant floor heat plumbing. But the well guys just left. They put the pitless adapter on. This just all needs to be backfilled. And we were able to keep our frost-free hydrant, which is super nice. And they put a pressure tank up there. And by the end of today, we should have running water where I don't have to go back and forth and plug it in. So they temporarily put the pressure tank up on like a 2x4 frame so they can still pour concrete and we can still have water. So super thankful for that. Glad they're doing that for us. Yeah, I know. This way. Alrighty, here is all of our radiant floor heat stuff. Bunch of 2-inch thick foam board. There's the floor concrete reinforcement, all the PEX tubing for the heat. So that is going to be sweet. They started moving all this gravel into the living area over here and tamping it down, getting it ready to do that stuff. And they started running some electric for the outdoor outlet. They temporarily put the panel up, as well as the pressure tank for us, so we can run our well, which as you can see down there right now, the kids are liking that. So we can leave it plugged in, and now at our frost-free hydrant down there, we can run the water anytime. So that's much nicer than running the wire back and forth. That was an absolute pain. Doing pretty good, and then the framers worked on more of this. Up here, got that trim piece up. You can see where our outdoor lights are going. And probably get those posts set here pretty soon. That's the update for today. Tomorrow is Friday, and we'll be right back in the morning. Alrighty guys, bright and early, Friday morning, July 17th, and we got the crew here that's doing the prep for the concrete floor here super early. It's about 6 in the morning and they pulled in, so getting off to an early start on this Friday.
I'm trying to decide. We always have issues with concrete paper into the
the
toilet,
drain?
the toilet drain pipe. I'm trying to just come up with
Paper barrier.
Yes, it's not. I guess it ain't.
Alrighty, so they're starting to lay down the radiant floor heat material in there. So pretty cool to see that. And then they're starting to close in the living area. They got the 2 posts set and moving it right along now. Alright, so this was Saturday, and as you can see, this was a wild day of weather. It was sunny 1 minute, raining the next, pouring, windy. But they came back, they finished the siding, and as you can see right there, really where it was windy, rainy. But they came back, got all the siding in, and got that part done, and it was really starting to look finished on the outside. Well, what a week it has been. As you can see here, the outside is pretty much done outside of the garage doors, and we got to add gutters yet, but this is all the radiant floor heat stuff, which that pile has gotten a lot smaller since the beginning of the week as well. Cause look what we got here. Most of the foam board's down. They got plastic underneath that. And then even started running some PEX back here. So in bright orange, he spray painted kind of roughly where the walls are gonna go. Kind of cool to visualize that. It kind of shows you roughly where things will be. This will be the open living area and kitchen. So obviously there's none there yet. This will be the pantry, which he says he runs a little less PEX tubing in there because it's going to be completely enclosed. There's no windows, so there really won't be much heat loss there. And being that it's a pantry, it doesn't need to be blazing warm. So bedroom, 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 bathroom, laundry, looking good. Looking really, really good. Now that everything's enclosed in here, it really gives you a good idea of how things are gonna look. So most of it's done out here too, outside of the edge here. That's why they got this stuff parked here, kind of blocking it, because you get that west wind and you really don't want to get it under the foam board, obviously, because that wouldn't be good. And then as you can see on the side here, it's another thing he said they do. So the concrete's going to come up to the top of this board here, and they put this piece in there and put the concrete up over that, even there, so there's no heat loss. Because if this was gone out of here, you're going to lose heat on the side of it. He said where it's tapered up right here, a lot of this concrete will just chip away because it won't be reinforced, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to be behind the wall, and will be really nice that foam's there. I actually did hear from someone I know. He did his own radiant floor. He's a plumber, and he said make sure they do that, because if they don't, you're going to have heat loss through the outside. So really glad they do that, and that's all taken care of. So that's completely completed now. Got the little access hatch back there for when you got to get up there, which they will need a place to blow the blow-in insulation. Water line in, everything's all set down there. So basically got water and electric up here now, and the front has got a finished look to it now. So fantastic. But it was a huge week of progress, and be looking forward to this week. Pretty sure the concrete floor is coming this week, so that'll be really cool to see, and see how everything progresses moving forward. But that's gonna do it for what video are we on? We're in video 4 of this build. We will pick up video 5 this week, so looking good. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.